All right, let's dive into a problem that I'm pretty sure we all have. You've got these endless, messy meeting transcripts, and you need to turn them into something, actually useful. Today, we're going to look at a really powerful technique that brings some serious order to that chaos. You know the drill, right? You just finished an hour-long meeting, maybe a project sync on Teams, and you think the hard part's over. But nope, now you're just staring at a sea of text. Who agreed to what again? Were there any deadlines mentioned? Trying to find those golden nuggets of information it feels impossible. And this is what you're left with. It's basically a wall of text. Trying to manually pull out the key decisions, the action items, who's doing what, it's a huge time suck. It's just so dense and disorganized, and honestly, it's pretty overwhelming to even look at. So you think, hey, I'll just use AI. Smart, right? You dump the whole transcript in and ask for a quick summary. And what do you get back? Something like this. The team discussed project updates and synergy. I mean, come on. It's so vague, so generic, it's completely useless. It tells you that you talked, but not what you actually decided to do. So frustrating. But here's the thing, and it's really good news. The problem isn't the AI. Not at all. The problem is how we're asking. We just need to move beyond these simple, basic questions and learn to prompt in a much, much smarter way. And that smarter way has a name: meta prompting. The idea behind it is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. Instead of just asking for an answer, you give the AI a blueprint. It's a reusable, step-by-step guide on how to reason its way through an entire category of problems. You're not just asking for a fish, you're teaching the AI how to fish. It's a total game changer. So, what does this blueprint for AI thinking actually look like? How does it all work? Let's break it down. Okay, it really boils down to this three-step process. First, you figure out the category of the task. For us, that's analyze a meeting transcript. Simple enough. Second, you build a structured prompt. That's our template that maps out all the thinking steps for that kind of task. And third, you just let the AI run with it. It follows your template and gives you a consistent, reliable output every single time. To make this feel a little more real, let's use a math problem as an example. Instead of just throwing an equation at the AI and saying, solve it, a meta prompt breaks it all down. It says, okay, first identify all the parts of the equation. Next, pick a method to solve it. Then solve for X, then solve for Y. After that, double check your work. And finally, state the final answer. See? You're not just asking for the answer. You've given it a repeatable algorithm for solving the problem. All right, math is cool, but let's bring this all the way back to our original headache, making sense of those meeting transcripts. How do we use this incredible blueprint to finally get some clarity? Let's build our very own meta prompt right now. First things first, we have to be absolutely crystal clear on our goal. We are not looking for another one of those useless, vague summaries. No way. We want structured, actionable information. We need to know exactly what decisions were made, what the specific action items are, who owns them, and when they're due. So how do we build this prompt? First, we give the AI a job, a persona. We tell it to act as an expert project manager. This is so important because it immediately frames the task. The AI starts thinking in terms of tasks, accountability, and clarity. Then we give it that step-by-step process. Step 1, identify everyone who spoke. Step 2, pull out every single key decision. Step 3, and this is probably the most critical part, list out all the action items and assign a specific owner and a deadline to each one. No more vague tasks floating around. And finally, step 4, flag anything that's still up in the air so nothing gets forgotten. This right here, this is our blueprint for total clarity. And boom, this is the result. Just look at the difference. On the one hand, you have that messy wall of text or that useless summary. On the other, you have this, a clean, beautiful, organized table. Every key decision is logged. Every action item is spelled out with who's responsible and when it's due. This isn't just a summary, my friends. This is a project plan. It's something you can actually use. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's amazing for meetings, but what else can it do? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The power of meta prompting goes way beyond just analyzing text. The results across totally different fields are, they're pretty staggering. Let's just look at the data for a second. Researchers took a set of incredibly hard, competition-level math problems. They gave a model, QN72B, a meta prompt that taught it how to reason through them. And the result?
it actually outperformed the standard, way bigger GPT-4 model. That just goes to show that teaching the method can be even more powerful than just having a bigger brain.
And get this, it's not just for logical stuff. When researchers asked it to write Shakespearean sonnets, which is a super creative task, but one with a very strict blueprint for rhythm and rhyme, meta-prompting hit nearly 80% accuracy. It can follow a creative framework just as well as a technical one. So why on earth is this so much more effective? This right here gets to the absolute heart of it. Other techniques, like what's called few-shot prompting, they teach by example. You show the AI a few answers and hope it just imitates the pattern. But meta-prompting teaches the process. It gives the AI the fundamental thinking framework itself, which makes it way more flexible and way more powerful.
What all of this is really pointing to is a huge shift in how we should be thinking about our relationship with AI. We're moving away from a simple I command, you respond relationship to something much, much deeper.
I absolutely love this quote from IBM Research because it just nails the whole idea. With metaprompting, we're not just users barking orders anymore. We're becoming coaches. We are actively shaping and improving the AI's thinking process. We're teaching it how to be a better problem solver, all on its own. So that really leaves us with one final thought. We've seen how this can totally transform meeting notes, how it can solve wicked math problems, and even write poetry. The real question to ask yourself is, what's that chaotic, complex problem in your work, in your life, that's just begging for a blueprint? What could you teach an AI to solve step by step? Thanks so much for tuning in.